The crypto markets have been absolutely exploding, and we need to see what hurdles lay before us and where we could potentially go should we clear those hurdles. I'm going to talk about Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, SUI is also in this video, and AVAX has something pretty darn cool going on with it. I can't wait to share that with you. And I know I missed one. My friend Solana is the other one that I'm going to talk about in this video. So we'll take a look at the technicals and see what exactly we need to do in order to keep this party going. As I record this, it's about 30 minutes before we get non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate, which, depending on the results we get, could significantly impact the performance of what we see in this video, for the good or the bad. Just keep that in mind as you go through and you watch this video. And by the way, guys, all these technicals are going to be available over at the Discord. The link is in the description. Sign up using the earner tier to save yourself 50% off the first month's sign up. And then, guys, without further ado, let's jump into the charts here. So we're going to kick things off with my friend Bitcoin. So for Bitcoin, check this out. You can see where we caught support. Woo! All the way down here. We didn't quite make it all the way down to 97 or 96. But down here at 98,240, and these are not all the technicals. I did slim down some of the things on the screen to keep the noise away, but some of the things that you see is with the EMAs in the background, we're above the 5, 13, and 50. That's a very bullish setup to see with the candles riding on top of those moving averages. Yeah, we sold down through, but then we had a massive engulfing candle yesterday in the market, and that's also a bullish sign. The RSI has reset all the way back down to, well, let me see where it bottomed out here, 49.68. So nearly perfect touch on 50, up around 60 today on a daily basis. When we go out to weekly, we're at 64.19. We got to monthly, we're just barely into overbought territory at 70.74. So we can absolutely keep going from here. We do have some hurdles, as I mentioned before. The first one is 109,356. We need to make sure that we keep that one if we can. Then 111,377, like I talked about before, the last time that we hit the all-time high, I said we need to be able to keep that. Here's where we broke it. Here's us not keeping it. And then look at the sell-off that happened afterwards. And then we cleared 109,356, couldn't keep it. And then look what happened afterwards. And now we're getting a renewed shot as we recovered significantly up over the 50 EMA, up over the 5 and the 13 as well. And now we're trying to make that run, see if we can hold this line. Like I said, 109,356 is that number. And then 111,377 is the next number, with a little bit of resistance with that previous all-time high at 112,000. That line is only there, by the way, because of that peak. So you can think of it as like a pivot line, if you will. Now, if we are able to clear that, we have green lights all the way up to about 119,000, all the way up to about 121,000. And if we can clear that, that's where we really start to get excited, because yeah, there's some resistance at about 131,000, but the real resistance comes in at around 134 to nearly $136,000 per BTC. Now, mind you, we don't necessarily have to make all that run all at once, but I do think within 2025 is where we can see those prices come out. So whether it's in the near future or whether it's the next couple of months, I think that the cards are there, that the excitement that we have, that the adoption's there, that the things are really starting to hit mainstream. I hear more people, just regular old people, not the people following finance and looking up YouTube videos like us, but just regular people talking more and more about the crypto use, blockchain use. And so I think that we're really hitting that next inflection point for crypto adoption. So from Bitcoin, let's move into XRP, because XRP has, once again, let me zoom out this way to show you all the support that we've had down here in this area of green, all the way across here. Yeah, we've peekabooed down through it a bunch of times. One time hit this other critical support area, and that actually put us into a descending wedge pattern. And with that descending wedge pattern, we actually get an XRP price prediction for this as well. And for the XRP price prediction, this suggests the 382,853. And you can see my other prediction for a longer term up there of 463. Let's talk more near term for this thing, that we are breaking out of the top of this rising wedge pattern. So I'll zoom in on that so you can really see it here. Get a little bit of noise off the screen for you. And what you can see as we're breaking out of this, a few things. One, we have resistance right at $2.32. You can see rejection, rejection, rejection. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different rejections at that line, confirming that that really is a resistance line to pay attention to. We need to sit on top of that. Let's take down the technicals just for a moment to take a look at the EMA structure that we have right now. So for the EMAs, we have the 5 over the 50. That's huge. We have the 13 creeping up on the 50. That is also huge. And one thing that I like to do is I like to grab onto the ruler and I like to count back to see where 13 puts us. So 13, we are going to be wiping off by tomorrow this price down here around $2.12 and trading it for hopefully something that's up here. And that should do a bit to further push that 13 up higher, getting us nearer to that 50-13 cross. That 13 crossing over the 50 is a bullish crossover, as we have a faster moving average crossing over a slower moving average. That would be further confirmation of that upward movement for XRP, moving us toward that price prediction that we have. The RSI, the momentum is perfectly bullish. If we go out to a weekly basis, the RSI per week is at 53.70, perfectly bullish. If we go out to a monthly basis, we are not in overbought territory. We are nicely, calmly at 66.57 for XRP, and we are also running on top of that 5 EMA for the month. And if we go to the week to look at the EMAs there, we are, man, oh man, look at that fight that we've had over time. And this is actually a really nice structure here that you see that bottom that we had. And here's another rounded bottom as well. And I'm not done talking about bottoms yet. Wait until you see AVAX when we get to that weekly chart. Started to turn things around, getting up above those moving averages as well. So this is a nice time for XRP, especially if we can clear 232. We could be off to the races. Make sure you check out the selling pressure that we get up here. That happens right around 340. And it looks like that selling pressure starts right around 295. So that 295 to 340, if we can clear that, that really opens up the floodgates. And we can take any number of catalysts in order to get there. Bitcoin leading the pack would be a great thing. And then further adoption for XRP, actually getting some ETF approval going would be a big step in a big way. Also further adoption from the US government for the leaning in towards cryptos could also be a further adoption or further endorsement for the crypto industry. Let's move over into Solana. So Solana, looking at the weekly chart since we got it here, we are just, look at that indecisive candle that we're forming up right now. Now, mind you, it doesn't have to stay that way, but if it does, we want to be watching for that next candle. And remember what I'm saying here for when we get to Ethereum, because it's either its weekly or its monthly chart. We'll see another candle like this one, and we get to see the next candle over and what that could mean for the movement for Ethereum. But about Solana, you can see back in here, this is Solana compared to the US dollar. So for Solana, we're starting to see that upward movement as well. We might be helped out a little bit by some of that weakness that the US dollar has experienced, but that's another video for another time. Getting over top of that 50 week is going to be huge for us, especially if it leads to those crosses. The RSI just below 50 for this one. Crossing up over 50 is going to be huge. Moving back to the daily chart, and we're going to reset the view a little bit to get a better window going for you. You can see the support and resistance that I have charted out here for you for Solana, just very rank and file, lock and step, whatever you want to call it. As we take a look at this one, kind of has an inverse head and shoulders sort of look. And I think it's really critical as we are nearing that 5 and 50 cross, that 13 and 50 cross potentially coming after it. The RSI rightly over 50 as well, coming off a nearly oversold status up to bullish territory. What we want to do is see a continued rise for the RSI, and we want to see it pop up above 55 on the RSI to show a continued rise in momentum. We have the 200 EMA up here around 160 with support, with the resistance up here from 162 to about 166. We want to be watchful for that, but it was nice to catch that support right along here, along this Fibonacci extension value. Once again, look at that we had it before, and then we continued to have it all throughout this most recent sell-off that we've had after we broke down through this previous support here, turned into resistance for us. So getting on top of that is going to be enormous, and it takes getting on top of 50 month to make that happen. So let's move from there into SUI. There we go. So for SUI, by the way, quick station break here. For SUI, there you go. For the cryptos that you see here and the technicals, I'll share them over at the Discord in my expert channel, as I'm one of the expert panelists over there. There's an entire team of us supporting people through crypto, through stocks, through bond markets, through pretty much anything financial, supporting people's journey through financial freedom, towards financial freedom, and building alpha in their portfolios through the news, the analyses, the information that we have to share, and then also the insights that we have, the trades that we make, the buys, the sells, with receipts, you name it, they are over there, along with a community that is already thousands deep, who are already loving everything that's offered over there, not only the panel of experts, but also We have the AI tools, the advanced charting tools, and the bread bot, which can tell you when the big moves are coming to your favorite cryptos, to your favorite stocks, you guys name it. It's an entire ecosystem. Code word doctor is going to save you 50% off your first month sign up when you choose the earner tier, which is going to give you unrestricted access to everything that's available to those community members. And if you guys want to learn more about shaping up these technicals, like you see here on my screen, learn how to trade using the technicals through the bread recipe trading strategy, which I personally use, and I haven't found a single thing that's better and more consistent for bringing alpha into the portfolio, and learning about options. There's some coursework down in the description through Stockmo Academy. Code word doctor will also get you a discount on that. The courses are a one-time transaction fee for lifetime access to those courses, and bundling those courses is going to save you a ton. Using code word doctor with any combination of those courses that you do is going to save you even more. Guys, the bundle is the best deal that you're going to get, especially when you use that code word doctor, DOCTOR. Whether it's the Discord, whether it's the courses, check them out. Let's get back over to the charts. All right, so here for SUI, what do we see here? Well, we can see that the lines that I left up for you are showing us the best view that we're going to get for support, which is down here in green, and then also support up here at the 23.6, and then another 23.6 from a Fibonacci extension value here, also showing us support as well, with some resistance up above the 38.2, happens to be at nearly the worst band ever, 311. Sorry if you're a 311 fan. I don't happen to be one. I've never really enjoyed them. 311, if any of you or your band members are part of this viewing experience, I'm sorry, everyone has their taste. So let's move on from there. So what are we looking at for 311? In order to break through this thing, to finally see that $4 plus price tag come out through this, we need to see continued rise above the moving averages. We have the 5/13, which is good. You can see we're catching resistance right now as I record this video at the 50 and at the 200. The 50 being above the 200 day is a bullish thing to see. Those crossovers are going to help us out. The RSI once again above 50. If we go out to a weekly basis, the RSI up above 50, and if we go out to monthly, still in bullish territory for SUI. We actually happen to be in a fairly large consolidation pattern as well. So let me put the technicals back up here for you so that you guys can see that consolidation pattern that I happen to be talking about. So we're going to take down some of this stuff so you can see a little bit more. We'll also take down that stuff. There's the consolidation pattern, and this thing is absolutely enormous. And so what that means, if I grab my trend line tool here and we draw on this thing, mind you, I'm not coordinated. So bear with me here as I draw, as I make the video, but I can talk to it. I at least have that much coordination. So if we take that and then draw it on there for you and drag it over this way, should we get a breakout, we'll make it the worst case scenario for a breakout that it takes the entire time to break to the upside on this thing. If we do break to the upside, that actually gives us, and this could take a while because this takes us all the way out to October of 2025. So we could say within 2025, if we're going to break to the upside on SUI, almost $7 per SUI token for this. And if that doesn't make you do a hog call, SUI, I don't know what does. So guys, with let's take some of that excitement and move into Ethereum, because for Ethereum, there we go. We got a daily chart going. RSI freshly over 50 as well. Weekly over 50, bullish. Monthly over 50, and just freshly so. I wanted to cut back in here quickly with Solana as a reminder on the weekly chart for Solana that I had talked about the indecisive candle that we have shaping up here. If it stays this way by the time that we get to the end of the week, because for Ethereum, there we go. We'll click out here and we're going to go to the monthly chart. You can see previously the indecisive candle that we had for June. Now we're getting into July. Well, when you have an indecisive candle like this, the next candle over is the thing that can make the decision for the next direction that you go. And so far for Ethereum, we are starting to move up on a monthly basis from this indecision to an upward movement. That is another signal for bullishness. I wanted to make sure that I included that as I said that I would. So include that into everything else that I said for Ethereum. It keeps me very hopeful that we see that $3,000+ price tag coming in the very near future. So for Ethereum, the stars are aligning so far. And let's go back to that daily chart for Ethereum. And we're going to take down some of these technicals for right now. And I really want to pay attention to the moving averages. Let's put up the simple ones, then we'll talk about the exponential ones, because we actually had a candle close above the 200 and above the 50, and probably the most, at least initially, impotent golden cross where the 50 crosses over the 200 that you could ever see. Now, mind you, That's a negatively sloped 200, which isn't great for us. The 50 also slightly negatively sloped, but pretty, for the most part, flat. This could turn things around for us. We really want to watch that 20 come up and cross the 50 and the 200. We want the fastest moving averages above the slower moving averages as we go down. So the faster it is, the higher we want it to be for bullishness, and the slower it is, the lower we want it to be for bullishness. Furthering the conviction with this engulfing candle that we got, along with that previous engulfing candle that we got. So 2 high conviction moves so far, and this could definitely take us higher from here. For Ethereum, this could be anywhere. It's a pretty wide range from 3,000 to 3,500. Perhaps it happens in this move. It does have a fair amount of resistance to overcome, especially this 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level happened to reject us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. We got rejected on that. So watch 2747. If we can clear that, it's a potential that we easily make that move up to 3,000. We'll watch and see if we get it. If we can clear 3,000, that opens us up to 3,300 to 3,500 for Ethereum per ETH, I guess I could say. And now for my friend AVAX, I want to go to the weekly chart on this. There we go. And I want to take down the technicals here and just show you this part of it, because what this happens to be, and we'll put the EMAs up for this one. There we go. The EMAs, perfect. And let's put it on the middle of the screen, because this looks like one of the nicest double bottoms I've seen since I had my wife stand next to a mirror at Macy's. And just look at this thing. Bottom here, and then just slightly higher at bottom here with the RSI climbing. Not over 50 yet. That means this could be early. Some other signs that on this weekly basis that we are a little bit early that this thing could climb is that we're still down below the 5 and the 13 and the 50. This is that bearish setup that I was talking about. We're still dangling off the 5. Not great on a weekly basis, but if we can get on top of the 5, if we can get up on top of the yellow, there we go, the 5, the 13. 5 is green, and then 13 is yellow. If we can get on top of those, make them cross over each other, that can be a further sign of bullishness. Well, let's drop down to daily. What's happening for the faster moving averages? Slightly noisier, but it can show those early signs. The RSI is at 50.2. We actually are above the 5 and the 13 on this one. So being above the 5 and 13 and also getting the 5 to cross the 13, that is a bullish crossover that we see. And well, we want to see a little bit more volume conviction in this thing. The 50, by the way, ends up being at around 19.62 for AVAX here. So $19.62. We want to get on top of that as well. And that could help us show further bullishness from here. So the momentum is looking like it could be right. It could be that time. That double bottom that we saw on the weekly chart, this engulfing candle that we can see here that moved us back up above the 5 and the 13, AVAX could be making its move, and that could be absolutely enormous for seeing a true turnaround for AVAX, and that could have us revisiting some of these highs that we saw more recently around the mid-20s, around 26-ish, or if we go out to this peak here, close to 27 for AVAX. And just zooming out even more, just to take a look at what we have here. Looking at the daily chart of it, we actually have these lows here. This low slightly higher than what we had before. Now we need that higher high to come in, and getting up above that 200 EMA, which was where we found that rejection before. That happens to be around $23 for AVAX here. If we can get up above that, that's going to be massive. So let's put up the simple moving averages real quick, take down the EMAs, because what you can see importantly is we're up above the 20 SMA. We actually have the 50 crossing down over the 100. That's going to be important to get to that level. That's going to make 20 a real sticking point to get over. If we can overtake that $20 mark for AVAX, then we could be off to the races, taking us up to the mid-20s, where we have to fight the 200 period moving averages and also historic resistance. Breaking over those could be even better. So we're trying to find that signal for longer term trends. Weekly, monthly, we're still in bearish territory. Daily, we're still in bearish territory, but with some early signs of hope for AVAX. So haven't covered AVAX in a while, but I wanted to bring that back to you because I feel like now's the time that the chart's getting very interesting, especially if Bitcoin can continue its rally and we have the other altcoins really starting to follow suit as well. Assuming that, let me see, in the next 10 minutes when we get non-farm payrolls and unemployment, that things don't go sideways with that. If they end up being nothing at all, then we can see the risk assets continue to rally, and that includes crypto, with Bitcoin included in that, and as well as the altcoins through the month of July, which, could be pretty awesome for seeing some massive returns in the crypto space. That's why I'm excited about it, why I'm bringing it to you here. And if you guys want to see the other stocks that I have for you from the stock market, Other news on crypto, you guys can check that out. Like I said, over at the Discord, we got Crypto Will over there who covers crypto exclusively, and he is the man when it comes to going in not only into the technicals of it, but also the fundamental backstory to crypto itself and the different places to look and the different cryptos that you should be paying attention to. These are the ones that I've been looking at. I do a lot of broad market stuff, whether it just happens to be stock market or I do specific plays for the stock market, specific cryptos. That guy's got a lot more. Plus, we have people who exclusively do options. We also have a guy who absolutely loves TMF and studies everything for the bond market itself, not just TMF. It just happens to be one of his favorites to trade, whether it's up or down. In any case, I don't want to keep talking for those guys, but the expert panelists, I'm one of them. You'll find others over there. Come on over and join our Discord. Code words doctor is what you use when you sign up for the earner tier. Links in the description. Same thing for that coursework through Stockmo Academy. The link is in the description. Code word doctor is going to work for that as well. Guys, let me know what you think of these cryptos. Is the crypto market just going to hit resistance and fail from here? Or is it going to take this opportunity to go to the moon one more time, or two more times, or three more times? What do you think is going to happen to the crypto space? Is there a favorite crypto I didn't cover in this video that you would like to see covered? I'd love to hear from you. Also, check out those links. Like I said, I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. We'll see you next video.